Hello everyone, so we need to talk about this. Leaks have been everywhere for this era. They're almost unavoidable at this point. This one specific leak that I'm addressing that dropped before the series aired has managed to call everything right in these first 5 episodes. And it's gotten me incredibly worried because, although I tend to avoid this stuff, I feel as though I already know what I'm in for with this finale. Now I usually brush off a lot of leaks, specifically ones that are posted to Reddit. I mean, they get a couple of things right, sure, but usually it's a lot of guesswork piecing together bits and bobs that we already know. This, on the other hand, has managed to call everything. And yeah, I just don't know how to feel about it. So if you don't want any spoilers, any potential spoilers for this video, then click off now, because I'm going to run through the leak as is. Okay, so this is the post that was posted to Reddit. I'm not 100% sure when it was posted, but here we go. So from memory, the main talking points of the leaks were: Episode 1 will feature the reveal that Belinda's childhood boyfriend gifted her a star when they were younger, which is where the Doctor and Belinda will be visiting in the Robot Revolution. Obviously we know that came true, I've done the review already. You know, I don't think it's too spoilery of a leak. Then we get into their second one, which is Episode 3 will be a sequel to the Series 4 episode Midnight. Again, we know that came true. So I'm not 100% sure how this person got these leaks. Maybe they knew someone on the production team, maybe they were working through Bad Wolf. Who knows? There's no details on Lucky Day, however, it does say that Episode 5 will feature the Fugitive Doctor. As we know, that did happen. And it was at this point in reading the leak that I was like, oh no. Everything is going to be true, isn't it? Like, the Mrs. Flood reveal, how this series is going to wrap. This is going to play out exactly how it's put down on this post. At the end of episode 6, it will be revealed that Mrs. Flood is a bi-regenerated version of the Rani. And then it does Flood, Rain, Rani. Yeah, I think this is one pretty much everyone has already called. I don't know how I feel about it. From what we've seen thus far, it doesn't scream Rani. But again, I suppose we are only seeing them in these small cameo roles spread throughout the episode, so I guess it's kind of hard to get like a proper pin down of the character. The bi-generation side of it, however, I just do not like. I don't mind it in concept, I didn't mind it in the 60th, however, it was treated in that it was like a one-off rare thing, a myth, even, and for all of these characters to just all of a sudden start bi-generating, yeah, I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like the idea that there are multiple... Because you could already have that. The thing is, yeah, you can already have multiple incarnations of the same character exist at the same time. That's the nature of time travel. So I don't really get the point of, you know, having this split and having 2 versions. Maybe it'll play into the bigger storyline, I don't know. But yeah, from this leak, I do not like that. The next part says that the original version of the Rani will be played by a younger Asian actress who will appear riding on horseback at the start of episode 7. Sure, I mean, I don't really have a problem with that. Don't really know what episode 7 is going to be outside of a couple of like set photos, so sure. That in concept is fine. The next part of the leak says that Mrs. Flood will mention Omega in some capacity. Whether he appears is currently unknown. Yeah, the thing is, I think that's believable. It being a throwaway line is fine, it's nothingy. It wouldn't surprise me, especially with some of the references that we've had this era. I don't know if I'd actually want him to show up, because, well, this finale already looks pretty action-packed as is, and I'm not sure I'd want a Too Many Cooks version of Empire of Death, which already... Well, you know, I don't want to go into that again, I'll be ranting all day, but yeah. Keep Omega away for a bit, maybe bring him back in a couple of seasons' time. I don't know if we need the team up of Omega, Mrs. Flood and Conrad, it may be a bit too much. But then again, maybe that's the unholy trinity. So, only time will tell with this one. It doesn't confirm he's in it or not, just that he will be mentioned. Someone that will be in it, however, according to this leak, is that we will be getting the return of Susan. Susan Foreman obviously being the Doctor's granddaughter. I think this would make a lot of sense, especially coming off the back of season 1. A lot of that first season was very family orientated. The Doctor mentioned Susan throughout, and that finale very much focused on their relationship and coming back together. I think it would work on a character level, obviously thematically it works quite well, especially if this next part of the leak is true, which I really hope it's not, but yeah, considering everything else that this is called, and the way the Disney deal is playing out, it would not surprise me. and that is that Shooty won't be returning for a third season. So I really don't want this to be the case. I do think it makes sense. There are multiple pointers all sort of suggesting that this could be the outcome. The uncertainty from Disney's end, the fact that Shooty has a new job now. I would not expect an actor who was supposed to start filming months ago to just sort of sit there twiddling their thumbs, especially when before having come into the show, you just come off the back of one of the biggest Netflix series and highest grossing film of that year. Yeah, it's not looking great. I think it would be a massive shame if we were to lose Shooty now. I think he's been phenomenal this season in particular. He's really found his feet. Season 2 has just been good all round. I've really been enjoying it. Where was this for season 1? I don't think we'd be having this discussion if this was the quality of his first season. But yeah. If this does happen, I think it would be nice having Susan come into it as a sort of like footnote. The leak does only say season. I could see them maybe having a couple of specials like what they did with Jodie. Hopefully give him a Dalek episode. I think he seriously needs one of those to come up against one of the main three. But yeah, what do you think about all this? Because I'm mixed on the whole thing. I think there are some things that, you know, I could completely see happening and I'd be on board with, honestly. I think Susan coming back makes sense. The Rani, I'm like, sure, whatever. I feel like we've been saying it since day one, so just do it at this point. And then the Rollers, where I'm like, I don't know, a potential Omega appearance may be a bit much. Shooty leaving as well. I just don't think we're ready for that. And even if that is the outcome, it still begs the question of how they're going to end that. Because I'm pretty sure they don't have another actor cast. So is it going to be an open-ended regeneration? Is it just going to cut to black? Are we going to get a sort of original draft of what the power of the Doctor was going to be? We still don't know any of that. And despite, you know, the leaks reading a certain way, like, I'm not sold on the whole bi-generation thing, but maybe they might be able to pull it off. Who knows? We still don't actually know the main details. Just these little bite-sized pieces of information that, you know, don't sound great when you actually read them, but on TV they could translate quite well. Because before even going into any of these episodes, reading these leaks, I was like, no, what do you mean you're going to do a sequel to Midnight? That's going to be awful. And yeah, you know, I have a couple of like nitpicks and bugs with the episode, but like, it's still a pretty good sequel, I'd say. Same with the Fugitive cameo, I was like, what are you doing? What? That's going to completely bog down this era in lore and just stuff that we shouldn't really be getting into for a series called Season 2. But no, it was actually a really lovely moment, it was really good. Not sure it actually worked in universe, if the Doctor's not supposed to remember any of the time he was that incarnation, but I'll let it slide, it was a good moment. I can't wait for Russell Tovey to be the master in the war between the land and the sea.